Okay, here we go. It is Thursday. We're right around 8 o'clock p.m. I'm Tom Novak. Thank you for joining me. We're going to be finally talking about some weather here that actually is going to make a difference here in the upper Midwest. We're starting to evolve from what would be considered an omega block pattern to a more zonal pattern as we get into this weekend and early next week. And that's going to mean the potential for showers and storms and some much needed rain. What you're looking at right now is the moisture channel loop from outer space. We call this the water vapor imagery, and it's not, you don't have to be a rocket scientist to figure out that we have a massive upper level low pressure system in the upper levels of our atmosphere spinning over the eastern half of the country, and it's been this way basically for the last 3, 4, 5 weeks. We're getting jet stream winds that are diving out of Canada and then creating a trough out in the eastern sections of the United States. This is a blocking pattern, or yes, we had mentioned it's also called an omega block type pattern. Now, when we look at the visible satellite imagery, you can see the dry air here from Minnesota on east through Illinois and Wisconsin. It is really dry from the Twin Cities metro and much of Minnesota on east into the Great Lakes. But look at this. Here comes some return moisture now heading up north out of the southern and central plains and into the northern plains and northwestern Minnesota. This is a front. It's a subtle front, and it's moving very slowly, but it's going to be moving to the east here over the next 48 hours. And eventually we're going to get in to some shower and thunderstorm activity here in eastern Minnesota and western Wisconsin. Very similar to what's happening out here right now in the Dakotas and northwestern Minnesota. You can see that here when we look at the jet stream, the river of air at 30 to 35,000 feet. Here's the strong jet stream winds. They're well northwest of Minnesota and Wisconsin, up over northwestern North Dakota and Montana. And usually it's at the base or at the right rear quad of these strong jet stream winds is where you get inclement weather and lift in our atmosphere. And that's what's happening out in the Dakotas and in extreme northwestern Minnesota right now. But look at what happens here as we go through time. And this is critical. I want you to focus on what's happening here in Wyoming and Colorado. This is a pretty strong disturbance that is moving into South Dakota and Nebraska here on Friday night and Saturday morning. And then that system continues to nudge east and northeast right into southern Minnesota here. In fact, much of Minnesota and Wisconsin as we head into Saturday evening. And that low actually sits and spins over Minnesota and Wisconsin on Sunday, too. So that's just telling me that we're going to have a period, a good 24 to 48 hour period of at least the potential for showers and thunderstorms. And some of them certainly could be heavy or even severe with some heavy rains, which is great news for the drought-stricken areas here of the upper Midwest. And then here it is. Here's that zonal weather pattern, more of a west to east pattern in the jet stream. And another disturbance, I'll rewind this just a little bit, but another disturbance comes into the upper Midwest as we get into Thursday here, late Wednesday and into Thursday. So long story short, we have a couple of opportunities here for some much needed rain, and it could be in the form of some strong showers and thunderstorms. Now I'm focusing in on Saturday evening. It's at about 6 p.m. on Saturday evening. Here are the winds at about 20 to 25,000 feet. And look how strong they are just south of Minnesota. And of course, southern and central Minnesota and northwestern Wisconsin will be located on the left front quad or on the nose of these strong winds that will be surging east through Nebraska and into Iowa. This is a perfect area for lift as we get into Saturday evening. That would mean the potential for thunderstorms, especially this time of the year when it's so warm. Here, as we go lower in the atmosphere, this is about 10 to 15,000 feet. You can see the winds now turning to a south and southwesterly direction. And then as we get it to about 5,000 feet, look at how the winds are pretty strong, and they are out of the south, and that creates a turning in the atmosphere. And if you look at a sounding here for Saturday evening, you're getting a bit of a Viking horn in this sounding here, and this is an indicator that we could have some severe weather here in the upper Midwest. Now, right now, at least the Storm Prediction Center isn't too gung-ho about this, but as this storm gets closer, we're going to have to watch to see if the dynamics come together to produce what could be some pretty significant rain and thunderstorm activity. Because of that, I put this map out yesterday, but it holds true today. Look at this. I'm expecting much of Minnesota in fact, almost the whole state of Minnesota, much of northern Wisconsin, to receive some significant rains. And a lot of it has to do with the turning of the winds in the atmosphere that are coming out of the west and southwest here at 20 to 30,000 feet, and then out of the south at 5 to 10,000 feet. That is a turning of the winds in the atmosphere. And as this low pressure system moves towards the Twin Cities metro, yeah, I think we're going to get significant storm activity, especially Saturday and into Sunday. So something to look forward to. I know we all need rain. I think we're going to get it. All right, have a great night, everyone.